So you're thinking about moving to Atlanta, but you're wondering, like, is it a good time to buy a house, or is it a good, at least, is it a good time to buy in Atlanta? And that's exactly what we're going to tackle in this video. So we're going to give you some insights into, the market, into prices, into interest rates, into the local market, things of that nature, so you can make an informed decision. So if you have any interest in living here, you're going to want to stick around for that. We're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Atlanta, Georgia, well then subscribe below and ring the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Atlanta. My name is Denny. The team and I get calls each and every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Atlanta, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving next week or next year or anytime in between, call us, text us, email us, send the carrier pigeon, schedule a Zoom, whatever's comfortable for you. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Atlanta. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about, like, is this a good time to buy in Atlanta? And here's the thing. If you ask 100 realtors, you'll probably get maybe 100 different answers, but all of them will mostly sound like yes, because, well, most realtors are conditioned to tell you that it's a great time to buy. This may come as a shock to you, but I don't know. And what I mean by that is it's not that cut and dry. Like, I'm going to share a lot of insights that would help you make an informed decision, but ultimately it really depends on you, where you're at, what the timing, the motivation, the priorities, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that too, because that's as important as the data itself. I mean, you can just Google any kind of, topic on interest rates or housing inventory or anything like that and find information. I think the interpretation and the application of the information, the context, is really what matters the most. And so talking about nationally, there were about 6 million homes sold. There's about 1 million homes across the country available now. That's down 20% from last year. So yeah, inventory's down, prices are up, competition's high. Like, all that might sound like, maybe now's not a good time to buy. Here locally in Atlanta, prices have actually gone up 22% in a year. 22%. That's right. Less than a month's supply. Days on market is next to nothing. Homes are moving quick, flying off the shelves. Like, Atlanta is more. Things have gone up and gotten hotter than the rest of the country because, like, there's this migration, West Coast, all the way to the Northwest, Midwest, and Northeast, all the way around the country to the Southeast, the Carolinas, Texas, Florida, Atlanta, Tennessee, everywhere, all over Georgia, all over the Southeast. And here's why I tell you that. When inventory is shrinking, when demand increases and supply shrinks, prices go up. And that's what's caused the price increase. But at the same time, the government was lowering the Fed fund rate, the rate at which they lent money to banks. And the cheaper they give it to a bank, the cheaper the bank gives it to you. So rates were going down. And so when you have shrinking inventory and lower rates, it really amplifies how much you can spend on a home. And so that's why prices were going up. And so what's happened now is, here we sit in, the beginning of 2022. We're just going into March here in the next day or so. By the time this is published, it'll probably be March. And so with prices up 22% in Atlanta, with rates now up from 2.7 to 3.4 from last year to this year. So with rates going up and prices going up, is it a good time to buy? And there's a part of you that can say, well, no, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, I'm going to pay 20% more than I did. A $500,000 house last year is now $600,000, right? $2,000 $500,000 or $2,000 a month. I'll get my analogy straight. $2,000 a month at 2.6 will get you a $500,000 house. $2,000 a month at 3.6 will get you a $458,000 house. So is it a good time to buy? Like, should I be? I don't know. I'll give you my opinion, like what I think and who should and who shouldn't buy here at the end. But that's the current state. So what about this? I'll give you some other food for thought. What if over the next year rates continue to go up? So we don't go from 3.2, we've gone from 2.7 to 3.4 in a year. What if we go to 4, 4.5, 5? What if the rate continues to go up because the Fed fund rate continues to go up because they're trying to, rein in this inflation? But what if the limited supply gets even more limited because, we're selling about 500,000 or 600,000 our house, 500,000 or 600,000 houses every month, and there's only 400,000 or 500,000 coming on the market. So every month, inventory continues to shrink. Inventory was down 21% from year to year. So shrinking inventory means greater prices. So what if you find yourself in a situation where the prices have gone up and the interest rate's gone up? So your purchasing power has gone down, and you can buy even less of a house, or you can't buy a house at all in a year or in 2 years, because that's entirely possible too. Here's why I say I don't know, because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if the inventory is going to continue to shrink. I don't know if the government is going to continue to raise rates to try to reduce purchasing power to try to rein in inflation. I don't know. The stock market, I didn't even mention that. Listen to this, you're in for a treat. You may or may not know this, but all of the major indices, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Russell 2000, which is small caps, all of them peaked between late November and January 4th. All of them. They're all about 10 to 20% lower now than they were then. And so is the stock market, now that happens pretty regularly, but sometimes that happens like right when COVID hit and the market dropped like 30% and then went boom, gangbusters, right? Sometimes there's a little drop and then it takes off and goes up. Sometimes there's a little drop and then a little drop and a little drop and a little drop, and a bunch of little drops turn into a huge drop. Like, I don't know, is the stock market going to go up or down? Because that creates confidence and liquidity for people to buy homes. And so how's that going to play? Like, I don't know. So if you're looking for Denny with the crystal ball, like, that's not going to happen. And here's what I want you to understand. No realtor has a crystal ball. I don't care if it's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, for Keller Williams, or for anybody else. Like, there's no crystal ball. There's people with charts and data that they analyze, and they have opinions and they share them. And some of them like to share them as if their crystal balls are facts. They're not. But here's what I do know. If you're relocating, job transfer, or you're trying to get away from states that have stricter COVID protocols, or you're trying to get into states that are, have less mandates and restrictions, or if it's just for a lifestyle change, you're going from the city to a more rural area, whatever it is. Like, if you're so compelled that you have to, maybe you can work remotely, you're just looking for a change of scenery, maybe you're looking for a state with lower taxes, maybe you're looking for a city with more job opportunity and growth, maybe you're looking for affordable housing versus where you're coming from. Like, there's a lot of factors, right? But if that's you, like, if you have to move, well, this isn't a whether or not it's a good time to buy. You might think, well, I could rent. Rent across the country and in Atlanta is up more than prices. Rent is up more than, that means rentals now. Most people don't know this. Rentals are taking they're taking bids. So someone might post a rental for $2,500 a month, but they get 50 applications. So then they say, all right, hey, listen, we're going to take your highest and best. How much would you pay to live here if you were approved? And they're literally taking bids for rentals. So if that's going on in the rental market, it's the same issue that you have in the market to purchase. So should you rent or should you buy? Well, I don't know. Do you think that prices are going to go up or down? Do you think that rates are going to go up or down? Do you think the stock market's going to go up or down? You probably don't know. You don't know that either. Here's what you can answer for yourself. if you have to buy, you have to buy. So you're going to need to put your best foot forward, and you're going to need a great team who can help you do that to get the best price and the best terms and the best possible outcome for you if you have to buy. But if you are thinking about buying, here's how you should make that, even if you have to, or you're just trying to make that decision. Are you committed to live there for at least like 3 to 5 years? If it's only going to be for a year, cost of the transaction, uncertainty in the market, I don't know. But if it's going to be a couple of years or more, well, then even in a downturn, you can hold it until it picks back up. I don't see a case where, there's going to be 10 years of depressed prices in anything. But if there is a pullback, or if there is even a crash, like Atlanta in particular is so insulated from like the rest of the country. The real estate market is hyper local. And so LA, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Miami, a lot of those markets, they bubble higher, they bubble up more, and then they crash harder. They come crashing down because they went so high up, they go so far down. And then rural areas that never even appreciate, they never depreciate. They just kind of bump along, right? But then you have major metros like Atlanta, where you do get little bubbles, and those bubbles pop. So you have some that get a little too outrun, and then they pull back a little bit, but they come roaring back, and it's a lot smoother. It's not as rapid as up and down, but that's because when all these people leaving those other areas are coming here, that means those crash harder. This one does not as much. The overall market may go up and down, but the local market is stronger. Jobs, the economy, the weather, travel, major airport. Watch all of my other vlogs. There's so many, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Rivian, the electric vehicle manufacturer, Kia, Home Depot, UPS, Coca-Cola, Airbnb, like technology. Atlanta's booming, folks. And so with that comes some insulation from the ups and downs. And so, I don't know, interest rates, stock market, housing prices, rent rates, the overall economy, like your length of ownership, how long are you going to be holding the house? Is it going to be at least a couple of years? I think all those things determine whether or not it's not whether or not it's the right time to buy. Is it the right time to buy for you in Atlanta? Like, should you buy a home in Atlanta? And if you want to unpack that and explore that further, then we'd be happy to help you. Obviously, if anybody has questions, put them in the comments below. But if you do want to unpack that, call us, text us, email us. Let's hop on a Zoom. Let's talk about your current situation. And if you are moving in a week or a year or anytime in between, well, then we would love to help you make a smooth move to Atlanta. That being said, until I see you in person, hopefully we'll see you on the next episode.